Good morning everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Warramai First Nations people, and I'd love to welcome you, your guides and my guides along with us today, and to draw on the universal energies that are flowing around us at this time. My third attempt at this video, because I got a bit waffly in the other two. I did do a sage clearing after the energies of the Russian conscript reading. This is sage from my own garden that I dry and bind. So feeling the energies become a lot more positive at the moment. And so thank you for joining us here. Okay, what I wanted to have a little read on, this is a completely different track that we're on at the moment. Article caught my attention this morning, and I will post it in the comments below, in regards to in 2019, because the French government were not getting any traction in regards to trying to implement policies to counter climate change. For example, the carbon tax on fuel, vehicle fuel, a lot of protesting in the street in regards to the increase in price in fuel because of that carbon tax, because of the dissent and the difficulty getting any policies through. The government under President Macron decided to enable a citizens' assembly. So reading the article, I was actually quite excited about this. What they did is they contacted, I think it was about 40,000 from memory, ordinary French citizens from every walk of life, every education, every age, from all through city dwelling right through to rural, every background and every economic station in life to be involved in this. And what happened is then those that said, yes, I would like to be part of this citizen assembly, and oh boy, would I love to have been part of it, they whittled down to 150 very diverse, ordinary French people. What happened then is that they took these 153 through a lecture series on the climate change science. And even those who went in as skeptics, thinking that they would bring their skeptic point of view into this assembly, found that they, by the end of the actual learning, they were converted. So it was the lecture series was to bring everybody up to the same level of knowledge and education in regards to the climate science. They then broke these 152 people down into working groups, and each group was given a specific part of society that was theirs to investigate and work on. One of the ones that was in the article was about the messaging that's getting across, how on a social level. So there was on consumerism, there was on physical changes, there was on policies, there was on the community level, etc. So it was really interesting, the social level on changes to be brought forward. Now what happened is the group that is in the article, they were working on actual social changes, not physical social changes, but examples was they came to the decision that ecological damage that is severe, so an example, an oil spill, would be become that the directors of the company that was causing the oil spill could be legally charged, and it would become a crime, or illegal forest clearing, or anything that severely damaged the ecological balance of society. The only problem is so the 149 policies were put forward by the various groups. Apparently it was a really thick document. They then voted, rather than taking the policy recommendations to a referendum vote, They put the trust in government to implement the policies through the government system. Another of the policies was that anything within 4 hours train or drive distance would no longer be serviced by airlines, which, fair enough. I mean, where I live, it's a 3-hour drive to Sydney. We don't fly, we just drive. We do what we need to do down in Sydney and we drive back again. That's just life in Australia. However, what happened is the government watered down these recommendations to literal puddles. The ecocide, the crime of ecocide was watered down to a misdemeanor, basically, slap on the wrist, bit of a fine. The travel distance was reduced to 2.5 hours. So some positives, some forward direction, and we'll see where it goes. So I actually want to see where this is going to lead. I've got a couple of things I want to have a look at today. I'm using my Light Seers Tarot because these are my friends and family Mother Earth cards. So I'll just have a look. Where's this going to lead? Where is this going? I found this fascinating. Boy, would I have loved to have been someone that got chosen for something like this. All democracies should do it, because the people that are coming up with these policies are working on, excuse the phrase, the cold face of society. They are the ones that will be affected. They are the ones that can implement the practicality of all this. So what I've got is this light has been shone in, it's now been shone into the darkness. There is no escape. That this light has been shone. It is a time of judgment. It is a time of collective awakening, and this moving into this new spiritual era where we are understanding that we have to look after Mother Earth. 5 of Swords. This is about anxiety, but it is also about frustration with the deception of governments and big corporations. I'm always drawn to this light of hope in the background here of opening yourself up and allowing source energy, the universal energies, to flow down through you and out. It also flows up, but it flows down and out to encompass the world. But in the foreground, we have this anxiety about and frustration. Boy, it's frustration about this being lied to by big corporations and by government about what is actually the truth. And this is about bringing forward the truth and the wisdom and the science community coming to the fore and looking out over what needs to be done and what needs to be protected. Okay, so give me, please, an extended Celtic cross. Now that I've done a big waffle on that, the extended Celtic cross. How is this going to play? Oh, yes. Someone's come for a cuddle. I'll just pop you down. There you go. How are you, beautiful? Yeah, loves his mum. He's happy now. He'll just go and have a lie down. Okay. Is this citizen assembly actually going to make a difference? Is it going to make a difference? How is it going to go forward? Love to see more of them. Cards falling out everywhere. Tell me about this citizen assembly. Is it making... Believe it or not, France is actually a world leader in this, in taking climate change seriously and implementing and moving forward. Germany is the industrial powerhouse. France is the progressive. Tell me about the poems of the traditionals. Isn't it interesting how Europe, every country is bringing its speciality to the table, and that's what makes the European Union and Europe itself so dynamic. Okay, tell me about this citizen assembly. See this in assembly going forward. Is it going to make a difference? COVID got in the way because it was 2019 and 2021 were pretty much a write-off. Yeah, okay. Just taking what fell out here is, there's going to be a lot of obstacles to overcome. There's going to be a lot of opposition in regards to this. We have the High Priestess here. There are things that are not going to be revealed, but it's also very much engaging spirituality. And when I'm saying that, it's about connection with Earth as well as connection with our higher selves. So what we've got, there's a lot of obstacles here that is keeping the energies down, making it a difficult path to reach what we need to attain, but we're also making this spiritual adjustment. It's going to be disappointing for those of us that are progressive and know what is possible, because we have this energy that we need to overcome. If you've ever been on social media and entered into a discussion in regards to transitioning to renewal energies, you'll know that there's a lot of these very vocal still around. Very frustrating. This is the way forward. This positive engagement is the way forward, and it doesn't matter how they protest, it is the way forward. But for those of us that would like to see it go faster, go quicker, it is going to be disappointing. However, there is this cup here that is absolutely shooting hope and rainbows into the sky. It's all about the partnerships that we make, the agreements that we come to. It is a crossroads moment with the lovers, with the crossroads moment. It is going to be a juggle, but it is a juggle that we have to make to go forward. Still progressing on these cards that fell out, we do have this Five of Swords. It is about, we need to look after our mental health, is what I'm being told. Look after your mental health. Make the changes that you can do. Don't batter yourself up against those that are not seeing the light. There are those that will try and sap your energy. If you're on social media, because you never know who's watching, all you can do is put forward a logical discussion. Do not get emotional. Feel free to use the laughing emoji. It does shut them down quite quickly. But using logic and facts that cannot be disputed also closes out those arguments. And if you change the mind of one person who is watching on, or even if you are the watching on person, this is air energy being swords. It is all about the internet and social media. If you are the one watching on because at that particular stage you do not have the energy to engage, and I don't at times as well, just make sure you like or love posts that are getting across the message that you would like to get across as well. There are plans being made, being brought to fruition. There is a passion that is igniting, going forward, that is for the better of Mother Earth, and it is new beginnings that are coming forward. We will reap what we sow. We need to nurture what we plant. Okay. Oh, I do like that. On the base we've got the Star of Hope. We have walking towards a new horizon. And then we have Temperance. We are going to have to set up boundaries. I think Marianne from Revealing Light calls them guardrails, but we are going to have to set up new boundaries and go back to a simpler time where it is all about community and family and what is actually important. And it is possible to take the challenge and climb these stairs. So actually I quite like those cards when they come out. Very powerful message for us there today. Very powerful. So what has happened to a great number of people? Okay, so these were put forward before COVID. COVID has changed the attitudes of a lot. I was actually going to do this as a separate reading, but I might do it as a reading now. I'll just flip over to the notes that I made in regards to this. I was having, while I was meditating the other night, which I do before I go to sleep so that I get a clear message and dreams that come to me, I wanted to have a look. Meister was telling me, and Narin were both telling me that to have a look at this COVID period viewed in a historical manner. What they did show me over and over was the number 8, the infinity card, and that it was the beginning of the end of the rampant consumerism, the patriarchal way. Beginnings and endings are never simple, so just be aware of that. But it wanted me to have a look at this COVID period viewed from a historical, as in going into the future and viewing back point of view. And I think what has happened and what they are telling me is that oh, interesting card. As I was just shuffling then, there was the card on the bottom upside down. When I say upside down, the pack was this way and this card was this way, literally on the bottom. What the messages that I got from Narin and Meister in regards to this is that this citizen assembly took place in 2019. COVID then struck, where we were forced back to a simpler time, but it was also an age of actually reckoning where we realise what we really need. Now, I don't know about other countries, but I do know in Australia, employers are desperate for staff, and what has happened is that the people have realised that that life is too short to work in a shitty job that you don't enjoy and you don't like, and it's not giving you what you need for fulfilment. So a lot of the jobs that were less desirable are desperate for people. Others have realised that they don't need to work themselves to death for that overseas holiday every year. It's not necessary, and the rampant consumerism has also pulled right back. It is about getting back to basics, making do, renewables, recyclables, community groups where you, instead of just chucking something to the tip, it's being offered, whether it be a mattress still in good condition, or a dining table, or books, or whatever it is. Things are being offered on community pages first before being disposed of, and most times they are being picked up. As I was shuffling on that, this card was the card that was back to front, the devil, the temptation. And what it's telling me is that we are moving out of this period of temptation. So let's have a look to see where it's going with this. I'm looking at this COVID period and the change that we have gone through from a future view, looking back onto this period of that we've gone through from COVID. But it's not just this temptation. I mean, he's not a bad looking devil, but it is also very much about greed and excess and addiction. And that's the signifier leading into this period, as I'm going from this future view, looking back historically. Crossed by the Two of Swords. So COVID was a real crossroads moment where we have and had decisions that we needed to make, where we needed to remove this blindfold and actually make a choice. Real crossroads point in regards to this greed. Again, another 2 at the base. We got back to realizing it was about relationships, about partnerships, about working together to make magic happen, about what was really important. And what was really important wasn't 2,651 friends on Facebook or whatever other social media. What was really important was intimate relationships with those that you actually have a connection to. The past in regards to COVID, authentic reform, birth and rebirth, authentic reform. That's the COVID period. Crowning the reading, King of Pentacles. It's about security rather than money. So this card can mean, wealth and mentor, financial mentors, etc. But it's also very much the card of what is enough and security. And I love with the dog here, who looks like a wolf, reminding me of Mother Earth, but also taking time out. He looks very relaxed, this card. He's not money grubbing and greeding or anything like that. He's about just being secure in your own place, financially secure. If you have enough, you have enough. How much does actually one need? It was a time of packing up the truth and moving forward into calmer waters, out of the rocky chaos that we seem to have been caught up in. Moving forward, also about movement as well. Don't know about other countries, I suspect so, but in Australia we had a huge movement during COVID period up until very recently of people living in these major cities, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, wherever they were, working the grind to pay astronomical mortgages, commuting for hours a day, deciding, bugger it. Then they found themselves working from home. And they're like, why am I killing myself in a job that I perhaps don't enjoy, never seeing my family? I'm literally working to pay off a house and a car that I never get to use. The car is just purely a means of getting to the work to make the money, etc., etc. We had huge migration of Australians out of the cities and making the sea and tree change, moving out of the cities into simpler lives where they could afford, they were commuting 10 minutes to their new job or working from home. A lot of them that have gone rural are now working from home. They didn't need to be in the city. They didn't need to be in the office. If they're in the office, it's 1 or 2 days a week. They might travel to the major city, but they're actually finding that they are spending time with their family. They're not struggling for the dollar. They're doing what counts. But we had this mass migration. Externally, yes, gets back to this, right next to this Two of Cups, the Three of Cups. It is about the circles of support and true friendship. Internally, new start for many, many of us. In faith and courage, we have stepped out to this new start. Love it. hopes and fears. Yeah, it's still this. The fear is still money, but the hope is that they are actually getting rewarded for what they do now, because of this realization that killing yourself for the grift is not worth it anymore. It is about having enough, but it is also about being in a position to barter. Flexibility, rather than taking extra money, it'll be flexibility in location. The outcome of there are still obstacles to overcome. Some employers are demanding that those that have been working at home for the last 2 years come back into the office, and those that are working are saying no tough bickies. So yes, there are still obstacles to overcome. There are mental health issues that need to be overcome, but we are at this age of a new beginning, and it is the youth that are bringing this change forward. It is a tower moment of tearing down what is no longer working so that we can build anew, the youth with their inspiration. So I am liking that. It's about plans being made to move forward for the community and families, and for Mother Earth, and we can make magic happen. We can make magic happen. So thank you for joining me. That was a little bit of a different wander. Had no idea where it was going to lead. I hope you've got something out of that, something positive out of that. If you've got any questions, put them down below. Love to you all. Thank you for joining me. Take care and take a moment. Love you. Bye-bye.